Good morning, everyone. I'm Joshua Malinaw from the Group 4, and our topic for today is all about Lesson 10 Sex and Senses. Did you know that our primary senses contribute to our experience of human sexuality? You will learn of that as we go through our lesson for today is about sex and senses. Primary senses. Even before we enter primary school, we were taught by our parents that we have 5 bodily organs that corresponds to our primary senses, which we use to discover, explore, and experience the world around us. So these bodily organs are the nose, ears, tongue, skin, muscles, and joints. So our eyes enables our sense of sight so that we are able to see a visual stimuli in the environment such as color, size, and shape. Our nose enables our sense of smell so that we are able to experience scents. Our ears allows us to sense hearing so that we are able to experience sounds and varying tones, pitches, and volume. Our tongue is covered with taste buds that allows us sense of taste so that we are able to experience the taste like the saltness, sweetness, bitterness of our food and the objects we put in our mouth. Then we have sensory reception in our skin muscles and joints, which allows us the sense of touch or feeling so that we are able to have tactile experiences like heat or its absence, various textures, and various physical pressure. So these 5 senses comprise sensorium, which is the totality of our sensory experience and perception. When we receive information from our environment through the senses, so our brain has the ability to organize and interpret those numerous stimuli into meaningful ideas that are useful for our choices and useful also for our behavior.
So good afternoon everyone. Today we are going to discuss the human effect in the senses. But before that, let me show to you the figure of the human limbic system. So the limbic system is a group of brain structures including the amygdala, hippocampus, cingulate gyrus, corpus callosum, thalamus, and hypothalamic nuclei that are involved in processing and regulating emotions, memory, and sexual arousal. So the limbic system is an important element of the body's response to stress and is highly connected to the endocrine and autonomic nervous system, which help to regulate the electrical and chemical processes that relay information throughout and between the brain and the body. So the limbic system is also responsible for processing the body's response to others. So this is where the sensorium and the human effect meets. As part of our mechanism for evolution, humans like us have 3 primary emotional responses: the fight, the flight, and the freeze. It's a type of stress response that helps us to react to perceived threats like an incoming car or growling dog. So a fight response is when we face adverse or dangerous stimuli squarely. So it is defending ourselves from an attack, like we grab some near solid object in the environment and throwing it to something that we are afraid of to get rid of it. So the second one is the flight response. It is when we move away from the adverse or dangerous stimuli. This would mean running away from the place and finding a new route so that they cannot find you. And lastly is the freeze response. It is when you are startled and are unable to make a choice or unable to move. Sometimes the freeze response can also be used to buy some time so you can calculate the advantages and disadvantages of your choice. So that's all. My group mates will discuss more about senses and sexuality.
Good day everyone, my name is Noelia Anuinsay from Group 4, and today we are going to discuss how visual experience plays into the human sexual response. So first, let's talk about what is visual experience. We all know that through our sense of sight, our eyes enable us to see the visual stimuli like color, shape, and size in the environment we have. Through our sight, we are able to see the beauty of the world. Hence, it is responsible for most of the information we absorb from our 5 combined senses. Vision is the brain's ability to process the information coming from the eyes. For example, when the eyes pick up an image, a quick process begins for that image to be translated and understood by the brain. Many of the movements we perform, tasks we complete, and personal interaction we engage is rely on vision in some way. It directs and tells us what to do or not to do, because when realities are presented visually, we tend to remember things and retrieve them in our mind. In short, visual experience incorporate memorable encounters and educational learning. So how does visual experience link to human sexuality? Some researchers have explored gender differences in visual stimuli and sexual arousal. According to the study of Ruff and Wall in 2007, it was found that men are more respond to visual sexual stimuli and tend to be influenced by the sex of the actors in a sexual scenario. This means, when confronted intimacy interaction, ang mga lalaki kay most likely affected through visual sexual stimuli kaysa sa mga babae. Mas maimpluwensyahan o mas ma-attract sila sa mga nude and erotic pictures na ilahang makita. Sa kung unsa ang lawas sa isa ka babae, like kung sexy ba, dako ba og boobs, butt, or kung unsa ang ginasuot niini na makahatag sa ilaha og sensation. So girls no, dili adyo ta mag-wonder why mostly sa mga lalaki kay pag makakita og sexy pud manamit na babae kay magsigi og tan-aw. Kay tungod, ang mga lalaki kay mas attracted through visual sexual stimulation. On the other hand, in the same study, women were found to be more influenced by context, although they too responsive to the sexual content of a visual stimuli. So it means, when confronted intimacy interaction, ang mga babae kay mas mag-respond sa kung unsang klaseng relasyon ang naa sila sa isa ka lalaki na trusted o kaila na kay nila. Although mag-respond po sila through visual stimulation, but according to my research no, na ang women kay most likely affected through sense of touch, auditory, olfactory, and emotionally relevant stimulation. However, other studies explored how women and men will respond to female film and male film videos by Land 1994 and to female chosen and male chosen videos by Peterson and Jensen 2007. These studies establish that either gender respond more intensely on materials filmed and chosen by people of similar gender. And that's all. Thank you.
Good morning everyone, my name is Elsa Elias. My topic is all about auditory experience. What is an auditory experience? The nature of auditory experience, we generally think of auditory experience as the sounds we hear. What is an example of auditory? The definition of auditory is something that is related to hearing. An example of something that is auditory is the enjoyment of birds chirping, or relating to hearing or to the sense or organ of hearing. What are the elements of auditory experience? The examples are pitch, timbre, loudness, duration, notation, distance, and size. What is an example of auditory communication? The examples are chirps, ropes, hoots, barks, doubles, and other such vocalization are obvious examples of auditory communication. These sounds make it possible for animals to remain hidden while talking. However, the sounds also are heard by the others and may bring a predator to lunch. Sexual activities are also a verbal communication process. Sounds give additional context of sexual situations. For instance, in sexual interaction, couples may give verbal, erotically rich words that trigger sexual response or verbal expression of affection words that manifest feelings. For examples, I love you, I miss you. That is an example. A survey of popular music will show that love and sex are among the common themes of songs nowadays. This only emphasizes the value of sex in human sexuality.